I see the color. I see it.
I tried. No, don't look at my shoes. I had to pack my stuff, and I forgot to pack my
I didn't want
shoes.
this to be comfortable.
Name and out.
So I'm KB with Nerdophile. How are you, Bill?
Good. How are you? Wonderful.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Listen, this is such a beautiful, beautiful film. And you know, Mr. and Harpo really go on a journey. They have such a complicated familial relationship. But there's a moment where, you know, Mr. becomes vulnerable and Harpo really gets to see his father in a different light. So can you talk about how, as your characters both age through this film, how they grow in their humanity as individuals and also as father and son? And I'll start with you, Corey.
I love answering this question because I think it is complex, and that was the journey that we were on, and the intent in terms of starting this film or going into this film was to ask those questions. Harpo to me is I love him because he's an observer. He sits back and he's a sponge. He's an empath. He can feel everything. And I think it's because at a young age, he decided not to put that armor on, you know, that he saw his grandfather and his father have to wear. But also because a young woman named Sophia comes into his life. And that changes everything for him because he's learning how to love. That's different from how his father loved. And he watches how his father interacts with Sophia, how his father interacted with Suge, and the love and the light in his eye for Suge, Avery, you know, and I think that inspires him, but he doesn't get to live out that. And I think Harpo wants to live out that love for Sophia. And so it's about making those choices and breaking the cycle. And it's a hard choice, but it is a choice that we all get to make. And so it was just great to be able to examine that vulnerability with Colman because he was just available for that kind of work, you know?
Thank you, man. I think as well, I'll add to this that as I think about Mr. right now, it's just like, you know, there's certain things said about Mr. First of all, he calls himself Mr. That he's already setting himself up with like, this is who I am in the world. And it's not really evolved. It's really, he just like sort of doubled down on like who he was and who his presence had to be. Be somebody who had dreams and wants and desires like anybody else. And then what happens when you don't get those or achieve those? And you do other things, whether small or large, to make yourself feel better and feel like a man, you know, and I feel like we wanted to examine all these characters from a very human, complex place. I knew it was an opportunity to show Mr. and challenge audiences on what they think about him. It's like, you can either villainize someone, because we do that in our lives now. We're like, oh, you're bad, you're good. But actually, there's much more nuance in between. And it's actually human. That actually, if you humanize that person, you can see yourself in that person. And I think that's the opportunity for a change and a shift in consciousness for everybody. That's part of evolution. That's what a lot of the characters have. But Mr. doesn't have that. He's stuck while the whole world is evolving and moving forward. You know what I mean? So I think that's a great opportunity, and there's an opportunity for him for redemption. When he takes accountability, when he understands the wrongs and the ills that he's done, not only to Celie, but everyone else who populated his world. And then there's a choice. There's always a choice. There's always a choice of possibility. So saying all that, that's what we carefully crafted and wanted to go into this, and everyone has a function in this story. You know, everyone, and I knew I needed to serve my function as being sort of the spine of the story. And because a lot of hangs on the trauma that that Mr. is inflicting. And then everyone has an opportunity to change, evolve, or fall away in some way.
Oh, I love that. Well, listen, brilliant performances by both of you.
Thank you.
Just thank you so much for taking the time to chat with Nerdophiles. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.